다 가지고 그거 보면 너 도대체 좀 맞춰 봐 쓰지. 나 거기에 수화센터 진도 댐비까지 지면 아. 댐바디. 뭐 봐도 지면은 이제 맞지 대소도 안 되잖아. 야 다디 숨바 댐바텔라 댐비 연대 샤바텔라 군조 연대 댐바 코나데 댐바 까바 현대비 연대 댐바 주바 제 간다 드네 담보 다디 이제 나와진 그 도이때 다들 주모가 치시야 좀 좋아 다 참자와다 이와라 숨시가라 군전 시와다 댐비인데 군조위인데 댐바고 전다비인데 댐바가 봐스 댐바가 다 당위 신나와지 도이마 스탠스 무산이다 세마 하체네 이와라 참자와 댐바 샤바 다 당보 참자디 잘하체 다 댐바 되라 다 담바셰 디인사리 자와라 다진 저에 대한 완전히 사바메 비연된다 개와야니 주인어스 다진 야칭 차와체 그봐 다 디제라 삼메 딱된시와 용주니 바랍도시다 도자난가 신 어세디 다디 마이사리
the root verse is verse 29, with regards to the explanations of being endowed with the qualities inconceivable, eternal, quiescent, indestructible, perfectly pacified, all-pervading, free from dialectical construction and akin to space, free from attachment and impediments. whatever and devoid of rough sensation, imperceptible, incognizable, sublime, immaculate, such is the Buddha. The meaning of this verse, in short, made known by the following 8.
This one. Same Taten Yunru Shiva, Kaza Same Taten Shiva Yunru Ni, Rabdu Shita Tota Nagasing. Chame Kudu Tome Zugrepa, Tasu Make Sanje Chima Me, said the Tipas Imbata.
Lapsa.
Oh, yeah. Tateni, some do meba. Some is gonna some do mebata. Anita Bata, Tambata, Shiwata, Yundrunda, Rabdu Shiva, said the Same Taten Yundu Shiwani. Ani Rabdu Shiva. Ani Chawata, Topatan Trawata, Nanga Shindu, Chapa Mebata, Kundu Topa Mebata, Tubre Pambata, Tar Mebata, Sundu Mebata, Gawata, Chima Mebani, Sanjaji Tenda Be and then the Damba Shiva Chavo, study Damba de Eche, that Jesha can never to say.
So in this verse, these are the kind of the ultimate qualities of the Buddha, the inconceivable, eternal as in a permanent, quiescent as in peace, indestructible, free from dialectical, non-conceptual, and like space, free from the attachments and impediments, whatever, and devoid of rough sensation, imperceptible, incognizable, sublime, immaculate, such as the Buddha.
Yuandenji Kala Dembe Yuandenki Tang Sunga Tang Yuandenji Shapache.
So explaining what are the qualities and the basis for those qualities.
I take him. That's what me makes. Namdo Chichu Kutani Randa Shenji Tuandende. Any Ranshan Tuanden Telani, Sami Chapsu Yuanden Den.
So
that is our DH.
So the following verses that explain the meaning are the cosmical body perfectly delivered and its manifestations represent the fulfillment of one's own aim and of that of others. This support of the twofold aim is possessed of properties inconceivable and the like. So the cosmical body here refers to the body of liberation, the Dhammakaya. Delivered, perfectly delivered from two obscurations, and obscuration to knowledge.
Number 12.
So this Dhammakaya in one's continuum, which is a composite of the Dhammakaya of abandonments and the Dhammakaya of realizations. And which functions to purify the obscurations to the attainment of the Dhammakaya in the attainment in the continuum of others. So its function is to purify those obscurations that obscure the attainment of Dhammakaya in the continuum of others.
And chasing the Rakasa Rangi Sambata to be chaired dandy. And it is Logo Ranji Sugu Tagi, Randa Shenji Pisun Sova Ni dandies. Randi Pinto, Shendi Pinto. Ranshenji turned to be Dan Lani, and some Jimmy and then John the Tamba Shawa Chow.
So, in order to enable the Dhammakaya in the minds of others, then you have the Buddha's body of enjoyment, Sambhavakaya, Nirmanakaya, then turning the wheel of Dharma in accordance with the predispositions, interest, mind level of the disciples. So this form body, this Rupakaya, then represents the two perfections for the self and perfection for the benefit of others. And this is endowed with the 15 inconceivable qualities. So this is the basis that supports the twofold objectives, the benefit for the self and others, and it's endowed, possesses the qualities, 15 qualities, inconceivable and so forth. So qualities, qualities that arise out of abandonments and the natural qualities.
Savi Cheba, Tabe Cheba, Deve Cheba, Ishiji Cheba, Ambe Cheba. That was
the classifications of the qualities that are regarded as qualities of abandonment are the quality of profundity, permanence, bliss, exalted wisdom, and the quality of abandonment itself.
That any Tambutela Savi Chebatela any two times the Muslim do Toba Sanje Pashiki Chebatu Tembatang, Shenjita Dominduba Ni Cheni. Two times the do Muslim Toba Sanje Pashiki Chebatu Tembatela.
So the quality of profound. What did you say? Something? Oh. So the quality of the profundity refers to the direct perception, directly perceiving everything at all times, which is only in the state of Buddhahood alone, and and nobody else has that kind of realization of the manner that the Buddhas have, that kind of for all times, always having that kind of direct insight. So that's the profundity. So this is the verse describing the quality of profundity. Buddhahood is accessible only to the wisdom of the omniscient, is not the object of the three kinds of ordinary knowledge. Therefore, those endowed with spiritual bodies cognize it as being inconceivable.
Sanjeji chuni juku, ngonyuku tang. Yishi juku la sowa, ta yishi juku la sowa. Namba tamje chimbi yishi ta, chugu yishi chugu la sowa. Ani tui ta du, ngosum de toba, de, chugu niwu de, tui ta du ngosum de toba de, ani tamje chimbi yishi bashi ki yuri mando. Ani sanje madoba ki, Tele Shambi, and Tesson comes from Chisheve, Shiva Sumji, you talk to Mari, that Mammy said.
So, this direct perception.
You marry.
this direct perception of the all-knowing, omniscient mind, which directly perceives the Buddha's body of nature, Swabhavakaya, and what is known as the Gnosis Dhammakaya. This is the direct perception of only the Buddha's omniscient mind alone, and not a perception of any other. And this is not a perception that can arise through listening, reflecting, and meditation. Such as these activities cannot give rise to that kind of exalted knower that has that kind of direct perception. It is the sole perception of that omniscient mind alone. Those with mental those with mental bodies, like the bodhisattvas, then they do some mikavadoris.
Some Ishiji Lujan Sanja Mayimba Namji, Papa Namji, Ane some Midunkangi, Topachawachres. Some Midunkangi Topachawa.
Some Matuba.
Oh, some Matuba Sigi said it. Some Jimmy Topachawas and Tata Timaso,
Some Matuba.
Some Mituba Chitang Topachawachres. Yawatra Machawache.
But it is something that which is known to those bodhisattvas having the mental bodies. It's not known it's not a knowledge which is inconceivable, but it is known to them.
That detail, Shanji to minu batela, Shanji teta to minu batela. Chaji tewe yu medi. Tendam yinji samjemi. Chini chaji jidemi, Gomba lasu yu mayi seiganda, Tambo chawa yinbichi tesam, Tejungu sheroki, Ane chirawashin tope yu mayimba. Tendam yinbichir, Samjungu shiri chirawashin tope yu mayimba.
So because
that was my cigarette.
So because it is
Sawadi malon tanga, Sawadi tate. Sawa.
So, owing to its subtle transcendental character, it cannot be made the object of study. So, because of subtlety, one cannot realize it just through hearing about it. Being the absolute truth, it cannot be investigated, and as the meaning like. Because it's an ultimate truth, it's not something that which is realized only through contemplation or reflection.
Oh, there is that. Dewala. Tragic to you mean the Segana, Tandam Demba, Shindu Travichil, that's a yagi, Castle, Chinu Gudi Tanandavara. Oh, Tandam Demba, Shindu Travichil. Teve share of G. Dotun Zovichuji, you maila.
So this ultimate truth, which is here referring to the suchness body of the Buddha, because it is so subtle, then it cannot be realized just through hearing about it or studying it.
Gulajani, Chinu Gudalajani, Tendavati, Tundam Dembati, Tujungu Sheraki, Gaza, Tobi Ure, Tujishera Toba Yuari, Tujung Sherakasanga, Yuaimba, so soon of Jitan, Tevi Tola Chui Sherap de la Tujung Sherap Sigari. Yenzang, Chini, Tenandemba, Ani Caso de Tembi, soon of Tedaki, Tevi Toble, Tenandemba, Tujung Sherako Toba Yuari. 봐. 또봐 요아레데 최종의 시라지 또도 저위 수지 또봐 말해. 최종의 시라 또도 저위 수지 또봐이나 무슨도 또봐 요고 때문에
So there's a clarification here. You can sort of realize what ultimate truths are. The ultimate truth of the suchness body. Suchness body. When we hear explanations of what this is through scriptures and so forth, then we realize it, but we do not realize it in its complete manner or in its complete form. We don't realize it in a complete way, in a complete manner. If we were to realize this ultimate truth, the suchness body of the Chunyikiku, this is the body of suchness. If we were to realize it in a complete manner, then it would have to be a direct realization.
Oh yeah. So
through hearing about it, through studying it, we do not realize it in a complete manner.
In the
same way, ultimate truths also is not known in the complete way by the wisdom arising out of contemplation or reflection.
In the Samjung Sherava touching the Chibache, Toto Tovichi to Mayimba, Samjung Sherava Serigana, so soon of Jitan, Sambet Tobila Chumi Sherab Sigare.
So, wisdom arising out of contemplation, those ultimate truths that we reflect upon. As we reflect upon the meaning of those ultimate truths, then there arises a wisdom from that contemplation, from that understanding.
Oh, yeah, but
it does not know that ultimate truth in a complete manner. If it were to realize that ultimate truth in a complete manner, then it would have to be a direct realization.
Oh, Tomato any Tony Castle. Ginjan Dala Dana, Tony Toby Sheriff Tella, Tijung Sheriff, Samjung Sheriff, you Pachet Tobacama, the Yota Sayamari.
So when we initially first generate the realization of emptiness, it
Tobacama della Jabamando, Ginjana Dana, Tijung Sheriff, Samjung Sheriff.
It's a kind of valid conceptual mind that realizes it first.
That's it. Chuni subject, then be combalas on human. Said that Chuni de Bonnie chair. Chuni sorry china. And the Jidem will combine Chuma, Sena, Jidemba, Sausage or La Marchan, some sausage to Jotadak. Jolam dan Jolam Ginega, so any Chini let me to come to your the Jidem will come to Musicare. Umju Singa de Tota, Castle, thing is going to let you share of jet. She did a cigarette, she laughed in Yes, Jidem will combine let you share of the story. That's all Jolam Ginega, Tigia, Dr. Toby to you, my Bashawa Chow.
So, at the face of being an ordinary being, as on the path of preparation, path of accumulation, we do meditate on that reality, on that Dhamma, on that Dhammadhatu, on that suchness. And although there is although there is that meditation focusing on that suchness, the calm abiding and special insight, but at this phase of this then one does not know this suchness, does not know this reality in a complete manner. So ordinary phase of being a bodhisattva and so forth.
Oh yeah, 인장 무슨도 된다대방 무슨도 떠와라. 아니 가서래 추비 정말 참아 추 요라 추바기 정말다 차니 추바 매봐.
So to realize ultimate truth directly means being free of the stains, the defilements of being mistaken with its object, with the object. So all conceptual minds are mistaken, are totally mistaken with its object.
춘이 sabji jikdenbi gomba laso yumesin yumayin kanji sula milongsin chiwe tenga tongmanyung sayade ka junjan kangi chir tenam denbadi shindu chawi anta mara yumayin chese kangi chi ani sula tawala longa nasi milongsin milongi su tong minima tishindu chiwa soso kiwala jana chiwe chunyi de musumji tomu nyongwa ane samji mitawla.
So just like a blind who is not able to see a form, a visual form, in the same way, then the ordinary beings, ordinary beings, the childish, are unable to see suchness, reality, in that kind of manner, means directly.
And
so for that reason, it is inconceivable. So it's just how it is inconceivable.
Longwaki sumus matoma tishindu chiwe chunyu musum to tong manyongwe ane samji michavare che.
So and just like the blind not seeing and not being able to see a form, then the childish not being able to see the reality of suchness. In that respect, it is inconceivable.
Rani tsevis, Rani kiwa, kesaki, Rani tsevi, kimna nevi, ane pujung digi, nimi su yuzam tongwa shindu, ta sanje le xianbi papa namji, ane kwaso renga, donyo renga ngosumza tongi, tui dadu, ane mayimba shiwa chao. Rani zasaki kimna nevi, ane pujung digi, nimi su yuzamji tongire, tongwa shindu, right?
So taking the example of the child that is born in a house and sees the rays of the sun only fleetingly, occasionally here and there, rays of the sun. In the same way, then
Sanje Mayimba, Sanje Le Xianbi, Changsen Papa Dang, Yanrang Papa Tedaki, Papa Dang, Renga. Dan Yamshaki Nagazu, Donyo Musum Tongwa Yizang, Renga Musum to Tongre, Tui Datu Mayimba Xiawa Chao.
In the same way, like this child that occasionally sees the rays of the sun here and there in the house, in the same way, other than the Buddhas, Arya beings other than the Buddhists, like minor Aryas, Shravaka, Pratika Aryas, when in the phase of equipoise, then they are able to see, have that direct insight into have that direct insight, see emptiness directly. And so, like that child, occasionally seeing the rays of the sun. In the same way, occasionally these Arya beings, who other than the Buddhas, then are able to see occasionally, but are unable to see continuously that emptiness.
강시 수람미노 시 집에 정의 통매치 제위치나 부중기 님이 수신 라 제위치나 부중기 님이 수신 다들 다와지 플러스티 다들 시간 신송아 제위치는 부중기 님이 수이점 통화 신도 산제라 셰베 파배장任何모습도 통그 뒤다도 많이 버셔와 차오 세티.
So that's verse 33. Indeed, as the visual forms of those that are born blind, it is not accessible to the perception of ordinary beings, and even to the saints who, though they perceive it a little, are with respect to it like newborn infants perceiving the sun from the house where they are kept.
님이 수신 800장 다 되게 된다. 사위 개발대 진짜가 이 말이야.
진짜게 차에 개발 말봐. 차에 개발 말봐.
근데 사위 개발대로 사위 개발대라 여기.
So these are all
사위 개발대라 로아 사위 개발대라 방비 개발대 니체 대위 개발도 제가들라. 무슨 또 개발대 담바대 생기 또 미니와 담바대 다 생기 또 미니와 담바대 팀도 생각도 와.
또 단다 수야디 서베 개발에.
얼마 틀어서 되잖아. 데려와. 사위 개발다 개발당저 사위 개발 이시 개발제 방비 개발 담보들라 뒤 탐제도 무슨 사제지 많이 받아 생기 또 미니와 담바 니체. 다 되니 뒤삼제 산제 용어선도 마시 교육인 바데 칭찬이 니와들라 다의 현지 또 민이 와서 다든다 때만 두시온 거래.
So these are all the the qualities of the profundity as explained earlier, how so this completes the qualities of how it is profound. And now the next is the quality of eternal or permanent. So it is eternal as it is not subjected to birth, and firm since it does not disappear. So because it is since the Dhammakaya is free of birth due to karma and afflictions, so it is permanent.
Sometimes by the top of the temper, the Shiva, Yundu Shiva, or in the Chuju, the lineage, Java, Travel, Tabate, and Tabate, Tarashi, Gaba may be in a temper in us. The needed Java, Travel, China, Tabate. Tarashi, China, Gaba may be China, Tarashi, Gaba may be in a temper in us. So since the Dhammakaya is free of birth under karma and afflictions, so it is permanent or eternal. And since it is also, not brought to a stop by death, no ceasing by death, so it is constant, firm. 아니 가세 계단 차지 따바데 감을 지나 땜바이 님의 치디 시와데 因为现在青蛙的是个青果汤啊，青蛙汤国吧，有儿吧，什么吃肉了因什么难度对差别给，俺那啥是俺们个青蛙汤，国吧是一个啦，俺那吃有了什么创干的啦，国吧钱。
So it is quiescent, being free from both. Being free from both means from mental excitement and mental dullness. The mental dullness or sluggishness in which you do not have the clarity of the mind, and where you don't have the strength of that inner strength of the mind, and that is which is meditating. This comes from a true introverted mind, and then you have the mental agitation or excitement that comes due to attachment. Peace, it is peace because you're free from these two states of mind. You have the view or the concept, and then you have the conduct. So in accordance with the explanation of the Abhidhamma, then you have one connotation, this concept in which you engage with the object in a very engaged with your object in a kind of very not in a detailed way, but in a rough way. Not engage with your object in fine detail, in a not refined, fine way, but in a very sort of rough or coarse way, engage with your object. And Chobate?
Chobate Shibi Naba Chuba.
Shibasna?
Shiva.
Shivena.
Shiva Marita Shiba. Samba Shibu took Sierra. Shibu. Taja Shibu Chi Sergio. Shiba.
And the conduct.
Shiba
Ship. And the conduct referring to, being engaged with your object in a very detailed way.
That Chingadang, Doshi may be China, and a Shivatang. Yana, this is on try with China, Shiva.
The peace here, it is peace because you are free of mental excitement and mental dullness, or you can also say it is peace because you are free, because it is free of birth and death.
Ani, Shivacha, Pinto Shandu Ju Gawa Mebe, Sirigana, Tanangano Takarasore, Lanzo Tala Payugana, Anil Lanzo Pisum Sawa. Ani Tarmakana Lanzo Pisum Sawa. Tatine Sigana, Rimba Shindu, Ani Gaidikala, Nazi Shandu Ma Juni. Ani Gawa. As a Shandu Gana, and the Lanzo the Ma Yamni 아니 가서를 가와디 용거하러와 오 텐자위 춘소 현도 기위 가와 매배 용중 그 전이도 내가 치로
and indestructible as the ultimate essence of the element. Indestructible also referring to, unchanging. Usually, as you go through the process of aging, then you gradually lose all your youth and vitality and strength like that. So, in that indestructible, in that kind of way, that that your state, that the state is unchanging.
나더니 나빠지 답이 쳐봐지 던지니 나 대위 쳐봐지 만로 대위 쳐봐지 대위 쳐봐지 숨바 대위 쳐봐지 동아 말루바 rab도 시와 고비 동아 말루바 rab도 시와 네 동아 말루바세 다 동아 말루바세가 동아지 동아 규 동아 차원 두지 그 동아 말루바 rab도 시와 고비 rab도 시와 고비 댐비 다니 사투비지 아니 사바메비 대위 쳐봐된도 나 고단도 톱톱나 고단도 이가나 아니 동아 탐제 녀라 시위 니시 인라 아니 내위 대화 쳐봐제 첩토구와 인장 어디시가래 동아 말류바 세간 동아지 동아 규 동아 차와두지 그 동아 말류바 rab도 시와
It represents the perfect peace, means perfect peace, to total pacification of the three types of suffering, suffering of suffering, suffering of change, and the suffering of pervasive conditioning, relating to that cessation in which one attains the uncontaminated bliss.
그래서 사람들이 잡았대도 오체 다시 이시기 잡았대라 시와 이시기 잡았대라 친여부터 봐니 세자 친여부터 탐자 또 배치니 아니 친여부터 봐 남제니 세자 친여부터 탐자라 또 봐 인자 잡아니래 산에배나 자와라 드니시도와 깨단자지 다바데 가메치나데 이메치나 시와디 용주춘이 내시로 체로와 다신들이체 깨단자지 제바단 차위치 내니그 제와단 차위치나 시와데 또 친구다 도진이 매위치 시와 야나 지지단 차위 시와데 세야되라 깨단자지 다바데 가메치나 담바이 이메치나 어디에 담바 인체 아니 메치나 아생아 친구다 도시니 매비치 시와데 야나 깨지단 트래비치니와 시와데 체
She just went through the same things that it is permanent because it's not subject to not subject to karma and afflictions, and that it is constant because it is not it's not brought to an end by death, and then it is peace because it is free of you can say birth and death, or you can say free of mental dullness and mental excitement.
在这里说他就说，平时现在机会高没呗，用中个青年没吃，现在了，用中青年那时候先
And it is unchanging in all. 근데 윤준친나.
윤준친이 내 지로 세대 단도 시와인 봐.
니천다데.
평소 현도 기위, 나시 현도 기와 그 가만 매배 아니 윤중구 친이도 내배치.
It is constant or unchanging, indestructible with respect to that it is not altered like how things are altered due to aging and so forth, like losing your youth or vitality like that, then there's no transformation like that. Shiva.
Rashi Gobi Dembici, Tamjirashi could Obi Dembici said that Devi Chabadimba.
So, and
Maliba Nyawa Shiva, Katogo Resana, Tajidunga Subara Shiva de Gobi Deba. Goba dem Godana Tatuba di Imba in Chil, and a Samagitawa, Chabatan Damba Dana.
And so it represents the perfect peace. The perfect peace is the quality of the bliss. And that bliss is when one has completely pacified the three types of suffering, attained the cessation of it, and thereby one is able to actualize that uncontaminated bliss. And the next line, which it is all pervading as it cognizes everything. So this is the quality of the gnosis, the exalted knower.
Chidawa Tobani, Ani Demba Shambi Chuchi, Chinangu, Ani you, Chinangu Obanamla, Ani Demba Shambi Chuchi top, never maybe Siri, Ani Dashing Toba Meba.
And so it is all pervading as it cognizes everything, that the gnosis, knowing all conventional phenomena, knowing all the varieties of phenomena, because it knows all the varieties of phenomena, so it is all pervading. It is free from thought construction through the non-insistence upon the reality of the elements. So because it realizes phenomena absolutely, or knows phenomena exactly for what they are, so it knows phenomena without any sort of clinging to the notion of true existence. And so therefore it is a non-conceptual non-conceptually knowing thought.
That's it. I said Tamjatoji Chava, now Maji Tomaji Mombachi, Tati Madre, Rashukobi Tempeji, Tamjatoji Chavani, says
That's how it
that's how it is. That's a Chinaba Tobati, Tamjatoji Chavani, now Maji Tomame, said Yacha, Tawachati, Chitawa Tobati. Nimombanji Chaba me, Shiji Dukun Tabichi, Tamjatuni Topa me, said
And so it is free of the thought construction through the non-insistence upon reality of elements is that gnosis, exalted knower, knowing exactly, so, and devoid of all attachment, owing to the extirpation of defilement.
Nimomba Separ Pamichi. Ani Denzing la Denver Chapa Mebes, Denzing into Saba in Zang, Nimomba in the Denzing into Yinzang, Ani Denver Shamba Mebe, then Shake Chapa Mebe, into Bambata.
So, having abandoned the obscuration of afflictions, because here, grasping a true existence is categorized as an affliction here. So one is devoid of that attachment, attachment, or devoid of that clinging to the true existence.
And it Nimombanji Saba Mes 차바메 시지 집근 답이지 탐제돈이 토바메 시간라 다시제 디바스나 탐제 첨부 토바라 파도 제지들라 타바토바라 조 타바토바라 파도 제지라 년주당 조 탐제 첨부 토바라 파도 제지라 시지위시 거래와
through the complete removal of the obscuration of ignorance, obscuration to knowledge or omniscience. It is free from impediments regarding everything cognizable. So, referring to the obstruction to to knowledge, which is the principal obstruction to attaining enlightenment, and obscuration of afflictions being the principal obstruction to liberation.
인간 시지 디바세디 간데지라 쓰거래서나 아니 나 공도 가상 안주 가면 중앙나 시제니 아니 말이 바자다 말이 비바자다 바자디 깨배기 아니 니나 추비 차대라 시지 디바스 거래.
So what is the obscuration to knowledge? It is the imprints of the ignorance, and as a result of these imprints of ignorance, you have in the dual view.
대략이 니난 주바탄 말이 바자되기 되기 시에자 탐제 아니 락디도 라베티루 아니 뚜르르 샤바신도 아니 시발라 토바레 토바 인장 토바 인장 대략이 토바의 청경기 시지 디바 니난 주바다 말이 바제 세배 아니 시지 방바데.
So, because of this imprints of ignorance, you have the mistaken dual view, which obstruct us from seeing all objects of knowledge directly and clearly, like the palm of your hand. So when one exhausts or makes extinct these imprints of ignorance and its respective mistaken dual view, then one has exhausted the obstruction to knowledge.
No, you won't buy Chabame, Siji Jukin Tabi, Tamjetuni, Tobame. You may last or which is Zubrichin and Traba in, said you may less or which is Turitin and Traba in, said, you may less or which is any less or which is to be written Traba in, said Tegi, the thought said.
And then you have the next two lines of verse 36, and devoid of both languor and distraction, I think mental dullness and distraction, and duly purified, it is free from every rough sensation.
Oh, take it on that Karasona, Sana. Yumjuki Tibet, Duba, Sana. Then Yumjusina, Tingy Yumjusina de Lata. 지난까지 왕보여라 띵의지 실학 야 제지가나 아니스 다 가서 3대지 무슨 염주 세지 요다 가서 띵의지 쳐봐래 띵의지 쳐봐 신내다 된지 쳐봐 된다와데 파도 제지 띵의지라 파도 제지 되라 다 다시 공도 셔봐니 인신이 증거 다 니와 증거 니워들이 그러마 증거 니워데 아니 띵의진라 파도제 셈미발라 제지도 내위 나 파도제 바 인장 되니라 염주 그트바 아시거래 와 염주 그트바.
So what are regarded as the obscuration to our equipoise, single pointed equipoise, when one engages in that single pointed concentration of the calm abiding and special insight of that particular equipoise, the obscuration to that are, as stated earlier, the mental dullness and the mental excitement.
인상 된다위 념주기 집에 뒤비 아니 증거니 매배 증거단 잡아 인상 다 샘띵에 좀 공부를 레스룸아래 레스룸아지래
So when one is removed of these two obstructions of mental dullness and mental excitement, then the mind is completely serviceable in a single-pointedly concentrate, in that single-pointed concentration of that equipoise.
인상 레스룸이치 리숨 신도 장바 제가 리심바다의 양바탕 아니 가서래 띵이즈 공부하라 꼬도 중화탕 오 땡기 리다 셈니보디 아니 된다위 리시 신도 장베 대화 제바기 기수 주와기 증거지 레스 미rum이 뚜르단 차와래 증거지 리숨 레스 미rum이 아니 뚜비르 자태단 차와래
So then the mind and body has that kind of pliancy, has that kind of flexibility. The comparison that is made is to like a cotton ball that kind of easily floats. So, the mind and body is like easily engages in that equipoise, free of those obstructions of dullness and mental mental excitement. So and in this way it is free of every rough sensation.
Driba mean go mad driba, Hainsana, Yumju driba singer, Yumju driba singer, tenda, Dingit in la Padu Cheki, Tela Yumju Singerwa. Isn't Gobadan, Chimadan, Goba Nijinana, Gobatella, and the driba in Gore, Kokainjana, Dejak Chato, Semibala Madoba, and Desaches Utela, Troadella, Dejachesak Yula, Troya de Semdela, Dejak Chato. Gobasigo, Teutin into Che. Ribache, Chinwa Singandela, Sem giving me Balama, Teju to Nedugala, and the Semgi, Sajak, Adama, Shodugala, and the Chinwa Legori, in that Chinwa Tramote, Gavari.
So although these two obstructions or obscurations of that equipoise are dullness and mental excitement. Mental excitement is an obscuration, is an affliction because it arises out of attachment. But the dullness is not an affliction. Dullness is still a virtuous state of the mind because all it obstructs is the clarity of one's meditation.
인자 다진디 가소래 칭화라 대외 차가 인장 코나 셈명 미발라 제주는 내비 내자유 사쟁하면 사쟁은 아르메바 인장 내자유와 인자 대라 띵해지의 추와마 뭐야래 신에다 띵해지의 추와제
신에다
띵해지의 추와 셈명 미발라 제주 내와도 요와 인자 다 띵해지 토송하냐 막 신에도 추와
So because you have the focus, because you have the focus, but since you do not have the clarity of the focal object, so there is still mistake in that concentration, and so therefore sometimes people think that they have attained that single point of concentration and make a mistake with that because there is the focus, but since it lacks the strength of the clarity of the mind, so it's not a single point of concentration.
Oh, yeah, that's much. That didn't teach you. Rashidina Yuan said, Yagi Tambutella, Bambara to Chi Yuan, the Rashidina Yuan, Ni Binane, Bambara to Chi Yuan, that much tender about Ma, she was said.
So, when we first laid out the outline, we talked about the qualities of abandonment and the qualities that naturally reside. The first explanation of all the qualities of abandonment has been completed, and so then this onwards is qualities that abide naturally.
That I'm a rather sure and then the shepherd tell her.
That Russian to never in them.
Russian and the shepherd tell her. Russian and the shepherd tell her. Oh, Tisu Meji Tarme, Sama Meji soon to me.
So, being immaterial, it is not perceptible. And as it has no real characteristic marks, it cannot be cognized by inference. It is a sublime being perfectly pure by nature and free from every stain through the complete removal of defilement. So this we're talking about suchness. So suchness does not have any form to it. And so cannot be seen cannot be seen visually, and so therefore there's no sort of characteristic sort of mark for it. So it has no markings to it. Sign for it. There's no sign for it. So there's no way to rely upon a sort of a mark or sign to have the complete comprehension of it. So this is similar to earlier when we talked about due to study, contemplation, reflection, and meditation. That is not the way you realize suchness in its complete manner.
Lubu namda ki chapa tu chewe rashi namda imbes. Lubu namda ki chapa tu chewe rashi namda imbes na da kaso le anje lubu namda te imba nyomo motang sheji triba lubu wi chima namda ki chapa tu chebi ani rashi namda imbes sanje ki juji rashi namda ki chugute nam ngo nyugute da docha ne shawara ma do Rashiji Timetabi Chana, Rashi Namda, Lubuji Timetabi Chana, Ani Lubu Namda Shaba Yinzam, Ani Namda Yimbe, Gawani Rashiji Namda Yimbishir. Gawa said, turned a big Gavala, Quatan, turned a big Gawara Mother, Gawamari.
So since this suchness, is not a form, so it doesn't have like the marks or characteristics, and it's not something to be cognized by inference. So how it is known is known as a natural purity, as a state of natural purity, a natural purity that is the result of the purity of the adventitious defilements, the defilements of the afflictions, the two adventitious defilements, which are afflicted obscurations, and obscuration to knowledge. So, as a result of this purification, then you have that natural purity, purity of that Dhammakaya, which is the and then that state of that virtue is regarded as the ultimate virtue. So such has no form.
And
so therefore cannot be directly perceived, but to say that but you cannot, but this is not the correct reasoning to establish such that when you say because suchness has no form, so you cannot directly perceive it. But the fact that there is no form is not a correct reasoning to be applied here. Because even though suchness does not have form, and even if it is not seen by visually, but an equipoise, a non-conceptual equipoise, the gnosis of a non-conceptual equipoise perceives this suchness.
So
that is how it has no. So because it has no characteristic mass, it cannot be cognized by inference.
So
it is sublime, being perfectly pure by nature, referring to that natural purity because of the purification of the adventitious defilements.
In the Lubu Namda Gichaju, Rashin Namda, Imbes, Rashin Namda de Maran Julayarwa. Semrashi Timanabata Maran Julayarwa.
When we talk about, a natural purity out of the purification of the adventitious defilements, this natural purity exists in all of us.
That's Rashin Namda de Ani Lubuji Timetabi Chapa to Chawa Yinzao, Ko Lubu Namda Dang, Rashin Namda Mata, Rashin Namda Kichachi, Mo Yugure, Segala, Ani Lubuji Tima, Bambi, Godango, Ani Rashi Timatabi Chana, Ani Rashin Namda Gomo, Yukusharma, Konitanta Chile Leguarwa.
So, in the case of the natural purity of the Buddha, that is a composite of both the purity of the adventitious defilements, that cessation, and the purity of the natural defilements, which is the swabhavakaya.
Yeza lubuji timeni, lubuji namdani, tima sepa pangpa ki kwadare, sigana, ane kasare, tima panchiro.
So when we talk about being purified of the adventitious defilements is a cessation, is what is referred to, free from every stain through the complete removal of defilements. It's referring to the cessation of the total exhaustion of adventitious defilements.
That is tima panchiro. That dig it and that. Then we kept us so.
So
never one. I didn't remember what to remember. That's what then we kept us since I checked.
So endowed or possessing these qualities.
That jubirabe.
Is now the next part is
jubirabe la. 참자와도 소소 전샤바 담번이 지시 시에바서 다도 뭐가체 참자도 망부도와 가서 다니와 소 전소소 샤바 대라 구숨지 주비라베당 따비 차바다 삼미 차비라베 삼미 참지미 차비 차바 제나 구숨 주비라베 대라양 참자와도 전샤바 이체 와 다 전샤바들 마죠. So
the next part is the manifestations. So with that again, some shawal kasa Rabia dila can just Jubi Rabia dila.
Jubi Rabia Jubi Rabia dila some Java the Tensava.
So link some Java explaining the meaning. And and explaining the specific explanation.
That kusum, any Tensoja kusum la jubi ravi, Tabi chaba, some Jimmy Javi chaba sumche.
As Tabe keva, some
kusum la jubi ravi, Tabe chaba, some
the manifestations of the three bodies and the and the quality of being permanent and tape kevata and the quality of being inconceivable.
Kusula jubi ravi tela, Lorden Jeshe Ni Nani, Jeshe Tuntu Sumi Benane, that what them by the G to the Yana could turn Yirisha.
So in explaining the manifestations of the three bodies, you have the brief explanation, the expanded explanation, and with the brief explanation you have the general explanation and the specific explanations.
That G10 the logo dog and G10 desert to the Malta summer issue.
So we'll just skip the general explanation. Explaining and the specifics of the branches. 385. 385.
That Tambo Della Chugudan, Longe Zoyuguda, Druyu Sumi Banana, Chugu Tang and then to Dambada, Yanang and then to Damba, said Satima.
Then you have the three kayas, the three bodies, the truth body, the enjoyment body, and the emanation body. The truth body having the five characteristics and the five qualities.
Oh, yeah. That concept Tamboni said it.
So the first five characteristics.
Savala Pewashu.
Now the root text.
대화시디가는 자와를 배워시 대화를 배워시라고 그래. 그러면 자등을 다 자와를 배워시고 대화를 배워시.
She's saying that when you do then the text says, please go to the root. please go to the commentary, please go to the root.
통화 일다 매진 남예매 예매 숨자 예매 남도매 최유라신 강의 대도바 냠바샤베 난조바이 통 자와
It has neither beginning, middle, nor end, is indivisible, devoid of two extremes, delivered from the three obscurations, immaculate and free from thought construction, is that which represents the essence of the Absolute and is perceived by the yogi, saint, who cognizes it in concentrated trance.
다들이 천인아 간데레세가 토마다 유단 탈이 깨와상.
So what are the five characteristics?
깨와상. 내와단 지반 매신 뒤마셔봐 식체.
So that it is neither beginning, middle, nor end, indivisible, devoid of the two extremes, and delivered from the three obscurations.
강연생 다 점된데 뭐 누구 되라. 코랑기 셈라시지 동비 차대라. 토마 매반에 셈디 유용아마 아니 토마 매반에 이리 간에 셈 출담네 아니 셈그라신 동바공 출산 인바인 진짜 콜라 토마다 타마다 유다 다르지와 매야.
So we're talking about the swabhavakaya. So that emptiness, the empty nature of the mind has existed since beginningless time. It has no beginning, middle, nor end, because the moment with the mind you have that empty nature of the mind.
Thomas 산제기 셈라시지 동바데 다 토마 매바네 요아르바. 나야 라시 남다기 차르주용어 니고데 토마 매바네 요아르바산 다데 요아마레. 와 라시 남다기 차르주용어 니고스디 가나 토마네 용간기 셈 라시지 동바데 기타주 송치디 가나 대공어 니고 신이 조고 알아봐.
So you can say that the Buddha's holy mind, being that empty nature of the Buddha's holy mind, is something that which has existed since beginningless time. It has no beginning, it has no middle, it's no end like that. And but if you ask that natural purity of the Swabhavakaya of the Buddha, has that existed since beginningless time? That it has not. That is something which was actualized due to gradual diminishing of all of the defilements of this mind. This mind by nature being empty. And with defilements, when those defilements were gradually diminished and brought to extinction, then that natural purity of the Swabhavakaya was actualized. So this mind, which by nature is empty, is without beginning, is without a middle and without an end. So because it is not created, it is uncompounded because it has not been created by causes and conditions in the beginning, middle, or end, and so therefore are non-composite.
오다 추구디 산자지 추구디 아니 취지 인래 셈라시지 동바 대래 산자기 셈라시지 동바 대래 오 타데비 추지 남바 예와 매베 아니 탐미데바 타다 많이 봐세요. 타다 레디. 타다 레디. 뭐 타다 비추지 남바 예와메베. 뭐 탐이다 버리.
So and then is indivisible. Is indivisible. This Dhammakaya, this truth body, is indivisible from its sphere of reality, from its state of Dhamma Dhatu. Then it is indivisible. This mind, this empty nature of the mind, by nature, this mind which by nature is empty, then it's it's not, although it is separate, but it's not separate from that nature of Dhamma Dhatu.
Toma yuda meji namye me ni me sirigana ani kasore rondo da kunde ji tani su huma mebe
So
yamba tuba zimbi ani kasore 친한 그 오원은 아라신지 투어 준비 런더다 친한지 군도 친한지 간데 친한 그 오원은 아라신지 마주장 아니 때는 몇몇거 봐 인간 때는 매번 준비 군도지 타니 수송만 매배.
So devoid of the two extremes of superimposition and deprecation, superimposition of the true existence, the innate inherent existence of outer and inner phenomena, the superimposition of that, and although phenomena does not exist by way of its own nature, then that it is not. That is not totally non-existent, because even though it does not truly exist, that it doesn't mean it is non-existent. Seeing it, because seeing it to be, holding it to be non-existent is the deprecation.
그래서 님에서 숨자 님의 남도매 숨자 팀의 남도매에서 숨자 세야지 아니 녀문 비트바당 시지 트바당 녀주그 트바 숨단 차외 다 공도 셰바 그 녀문다 시지 트바 숨이와 오 텐라비 시지 트바 숨단 차외 나 안에 나바타 비켜봐
delivered from the three obscurations, immaculate and free from thought construction, referring to, delivered from the obscuration of afflictions, obscuration to omniscience, and the obscuration of equipoise.
아니 가서래 치마라시지 매봐 치마라시지 매봐 인자 섬지라시라 치매라 봐 마시바래 대수 마시바 인자 아니 라시 남다 샤초고 바래 아니 루부 남다 차지용 오니고상 아니 산제기라서 샤투고 치마라시지 주나 좀도 봐 인장 치마단 자와 모두 봐 인장 아니 치마라시지 매봐.
So, immaculate, referring to that that defilements does not exist by way of its own nature. That means then the defilements do not exist in the nature of the mind, and because defilements do not exist in the nature of the mind, then you have the removal of this. You have the removal of these defilements, of these adventitious defilements, and thereby the means to actualizing the Swabhakaya, the Buddha's body of nature, and so forth.
님이 숨자 팀에 세 친사체 드마라치 님에봐 다트는 남도 매세 되게 나바도베 스타타신 공도 셰바나지 태상 공수문기 나바도베 또주 조비 수지 도바 매바탕
So immaculate, referring to that, defilements does not intrinsically exist or does not exist by way of its own nature, and free from thought construction, meaning that there is no complete realization through through study, contemplation, and meditation alone. Through these three modes, there is no complete realizing of it.
That is it. Chunyi kanyin teto ba nyaba shabe nanjo ba yi tong se degi. Ani chunyi rangshin se de. Chunyi se na tongni la sikwa de chuji yin. A tongni la mingi nanda mangbo wa de ra chuji yin se, chunyi se, tongni se, tuandam tenpa se ro. Ta mangbo yinda chuji yin se, tongni la kokwa de.
So here, essence of the absolute means the sphere of reality. Absolute essence of the absolute sphere of reality, in that which represents the sphere of reality or the essence of the absolute, and is perceived by the yogi saint who cognizes it in concentrated trance. So emptiness has many different names to it, like ultimate truth, dharma, dhatu, and so forth.
chunyi rangshin kanyin wingpa kang chunyi ki rangshin kang yinpa di toba tongkai di suri sana paba nyamba shabi nanjuwa waki ane soso rang rikbi sana ane ka suri ishi tiki yu ane samu tongpa nyi rikpa
And so
nanjuwa bayi rangi
who realizes the nature of that sphere of reality, the sphere of reality. Who realizes the nature of this sphere of reality is the yogi's individual individual knower. The exalted knower of that yogi is what realizes this nature of the ultimate sphere of reality.
Oh yeah. Hanying by the top of Nanjo by Soso Rangi tribute Chuji, Toma Chereni, Satao, Donna Carre, Sana, Chuyin de Chun Girashin Kang by the Samotoma Girashin Kang in by the Ani Toba, don't get the Carre, Sana, Yamsha number Namshaki, Ayamsha Soso Rangi, Shiji, Topa Chave, Toma Chava in Bena, Ani Semjira, Savi Chabati Tango.
So, since the nature of that sphere of reality, which is the nature of the profound emptiness, is realized by that exalted knower of that yogi's equipoise, so that exalted knower of that particular yogi's equipoise is referred to as clear light or luminous.
That was again. All tell the said do Rashin Namda Tang Rashin Namda Pambi Namda Ni Spamba Namda Sena Godan Lubutraji Namdati Ni Yujan Chabado that Tangudua Nanjo Soso Nanjo Soso Rangi repeat Suji Tonga Chawa stand by Yujan Chabado Chana Dan
Yan George Sunandake Yan George Sunanda Pambe Namdat.
Oh, the council Ranshin Namda, Pamban Namda said, Lubu Namda Kotan cigarette, Pamba Kotan. But then you would usually Chaba to send a dance, Yamsha Soso Rang, Nanjo, Yamsha Soso Rang, Ruby, and a Thomas Chavis, which it is.
So, the natural purity, the purity of the abandonments denote the subjective consciousness. The yogis, that particular yogis exalted knower that generates that realization.
So in
that which represents the essence of the Absolute and is perceived by the yogi who cognizes it in concentrated trance. So this verse denotes the 5 characteristics of the Dhammakaya. Then the following verse then showing the 5 qualities.
Tishishi Chimami be in Sandan, one you was not Tashishu and Nashi, Tishishi, and a sem dandong, sem kitchen chunity, or Tedism to settle. She shadow maybe.
So this Swabhavakaya means the Tathagata's mind that which is empty of true existence, the suchness of the mind. Then again Kansubati
Tishibi Anna Moni Juku Singa the Carrere, Moni Gute, Moni Juku the Tishibi, Timmy in Timami be in the Tedism to Sado Sena Any Sado say, Any Tama Shadu you are married. Shadu Meba Iza, that Yachawa Stang Idima. And I thought to learn Asari.
So talking about the Swabhavakaya, which is the sphere of the stainless sphere, the undefiled spheres, it cannot be posited by the mind that it is like this or it's that way like that. Cannot its limits cannot be posited by the mind. Possessed of properties inconceivable, unequaled, immeasurable, and excelling the sands of the Ganges, this immaculate essence of the Buddha is devoid of all defects and defiling forces.
Oh yeah. That Zawati Jawala see can Tashishu and Ashire. Tishishi be any Tamam be in Dela, Ted did some to Yodo, say, Shadu Meba Inzang, and it Jachavare.
So the Tathagata's stainless sphere, since the limit of the stainless sphere cannot be posited by the mind, then it is inconceivable or vast.
Tam Mushi said, Ranshinji Yabatan, then Mebatan. Any Yigar Ranshinji Trubadan, Yaba Nigatan. Ranshinji Trubadan, Yaba Nigayang, Ranshinji Truba. Mushiwote, and the dog will something Meba. Ranshinji Yabatan,
Meba, Mebatan. You come Mebatan.
다 랑신지 예바다 매번 이가다. 이가체. 다야 랑신지 예바당 때는 매번 이가 랑신지 예바. 무시도세.
So inconceivable with respect to that that it is existent by way of its own nature, or totally non-existent, that which is both of this, and the fourth being Shivadaya.
이가양 랑신지 매바당 때는 매바양 마이 때는 매바양 마이 바 이가 랑신지 주바대.
Renshigi Mebaya.
매바양 마이 때 랑신지 예바양 마이 때는 매바양 마이 바 이가 랑신지 주바대.
And that which is that which is existent by way of its own nature, and that which is non-existent, both of them being truly existent.
Oh, yes, the dead to Paradela, Tawadela, Shadow Mebe Gachevache. So, Kangilungi Chamalan Deve, Chantayava. Roma Kangilungi Chamala Deve, Chantayabas. Shame Kangi Chamal La Debas.
So immeasurable and excelling the sands of the Ganges.
Ani, that Mushi Toge Samdu Mebe Sami. And it's
so, what do you say about these four things? The four Mushi? Mushi. The four alternatives.
Some people, translate four alternatives.
What did you say?
I was just going to ask if Genno could please repeat those four again.
벽에는 양조지 손다서 무시부대.
그렇지.
무시.
랑신지 예바당 직체.
First is existing by way of its own nature.
때는 매바 직체.
Totally non-existent.
다 랑신지 예바다 때는 매바 이가 인가 직체.
And the third being existing by way of its own nature, as well as totally non-existent. Both of these two, third.
다 타마델라 랑신지 매바다 때는 매바 이가 랑신지 주와대.
And not existing by way of its own nature, and not existing, both are truly existing.
어때? 여기 최근적인 생기가 사명님의 도매지 있지. 돼야지 틀지 빠래.
So inconceivable in this respect, like how when we describe the properties of the Dharma object of refuge.
That's
inconceivable and unequaled. So endowed with the qualities that does not compare with others, unequaled. Endowed with qualities that are, regarded as qualities in having abandoned afflictions together with its imprints.
Oh yeah, so
we'll stop here for today. Okay, questions? Go ahead.
I'm wondering on the quality we were talking about on page 385, but it was yerme, and I was wondering, it says
yerme.
And I'm wondering, is that the second reason in the verse 27?
Ngô yerme chi she jara sumjak je chukenge dina yunden di yunden ngô yerme ba.
Ngô yerme ba si denda ti tuen de ba.
Which line is say from the top? Oh.
I'm wondering.
Which say how many lines from the top?
Oh, okay. 5. It starts with.
Yeah, gonetsbe yigtang ngaba sumjek je chukangane yigtang ngabe.
Oh yeah. Anise.
Ching yigtang ngaba gonetsbe yigtang ngaba sumjek.
알아요. 제일은 못했나 봐요, 말이래.
Did shchukenan.
그래서 제일은 못하대비 주디 나봐요, 매바 탑니다 봐시가나. 가서 오랑신지 똥바 대래 나봐요, 매바.
So you know, the nature is that its nature is empty of existing by way of its own nature. Its nature, that is the nature. Chuging. The nature of the sphere of reality is that that it is empty of existing by intrinsically, and so that it is it is not separate from this nature.
Okay, so my question is, in the verse 27, it talks about the reasons why the Tathagata Garba exists in sentient beings.
Shulaka.
This is 27 from chapter 1.
Oh,
The existence of Tathagata Garba. There's like 3 reasons, and is this the second reason?
Tanda come the version nimbo de semchen la yeva semchen yula yeva ki gyumse sum shawa
yerme ti신이 매치 당세를
same
ti신이 매치 당세가 삼재당 삼재당 셈기 삼재당 셈쟁기 아기 신이고 오랑시지 동바텔라 오여와 매봐.
So the Buddhas and sentient beings suchness, in the nature of that suchness, it is indivisible. The suchness of sentient beings and the suchness of the Buddha is the same, because the nature of that suchness is that it is empty by nature. So in being of that nature, empty by nature, it is the same in Buddhahood or in sentient beings. Of course, in nature they are not different. In that nature of being empty empty in nature, they are no different. Buddhas and sentient beings. Of course, Buddhas and sentient beings are different, but in their nature of being of empty nature, there's no difference in that, indivisible in that. Okay.
장주 빠지사님 사살이 장주 차고 뒤주고 다른서 장주 빠지사님 사살이 다 되었잖아.
Rumshi's telling Frank that he's going to finish enlightenment tomorrow because Rumshi said he told Frank that he wouldn't finish enlightenment. Okay. Sani chana mrijina tando dindachi chusunya yardasun. Sani chana malsana dindachi chusungure sore.
dindachi 제자 강가 차고로 와서 단다 강가 차고 그거를 주나. 달로 야가라 강가 차고 그거를 먼저 삼나.
Because I'm supposed to finish the whole text this summer. Because the idea was, the plan is for next year to do another text, so don't want leftover text.
then there is logging that Jackie Majoche. And it channels are mother.
So, but basically, Rinpoche says this is how he is going to go, and if it finishes, it finishes. If it doesn't, then it's not finished.
Yeah.
The diggy ganga yonsu topolata yaga mongbush which dogos reson. And gengi mushibati and the suranasa mushibati.
Mushibati, yeah. You got my imba, Rashi to a tanya to
Ranshingi meba.
And meba mine. And the Rashi meb because
Mushibati.
Rashi meba mine, then I meba mine. So that thing you got Rashi to it.
That which is not existent by way of its own nature, and that which is also not non-existent, both of these two not truly existing, is the fourth one. The fourth alternative. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
In verse 38, a question that's probably either definition or classification. In the last one, it says there is no complete realization through the three modes of study, contemplation, and meditation. And then that was followed by saying the one who realizes this is the yogi's exalted knower of equipoise. So is this exalted knower of equipoise not a form of meditation? Is it something separate from meditation?
Tosam gombal ne chune and yonsu sopa toya de yomari sumbratanji.
So some women can share a good answer to top of my
Because I'm sure we yonsu topa yomaris and tanda shuloka tanda kase chugi in the shuloka tamachara tanda di nejobagi things in chin.
Then doesn't want to marry.
And so
doesn't want to share a marry.
There is no complete realization, meaning direct realization, through the wisdom of study, contemplation, reflection, and meditation. But here in this case, when we talked about here in verse 38, is that represents the essence of the absolute and is perceived by the yogi who cognizes it in the concentrated trance. This here is a non-conceptual equipoise that realizes it. It is meditation. A non-conceptual equipoise is an exalted knower.
But it would not be included then in that.
Gomjungi is good. Come to Gomjungi, Gomjungi, don't you do you are it? Then the Gomjung Tesson comes to share the top part of the Shakores.
La.
So you Tesson share Mila, Annie Castle.
Usually when we talk about the wisdom that arises from study, reflection, and meditation, is mostly conceptual.
So on the same note, could you please repeat a sort of definition of the
Susu Rangriki.
So Rari, she to you, Ma, Segala. You just so rang, Rick said the Chibokara was an up. Don't you want to Toby, she teddy, and you just so Ribala Jaya, you just so Rick. You don't buy you want to Tobala.
So, when we that exalted knower that knows itself. So this refers to a knower which is a direct realization of emptiness, that knows emptiness as well as the subjective consciousness. Both.
So Rari, she to you, Ma, Segala. Yamsa so. number middle be ishi tigi yujen soso ribi ishi tigi juyu de ani samotamba nila jadi kana soso ranji ishi juyu ma tu shayawaris.
So this non-conceptual equipoise, knows itself, knows the consciousness itself, as well as the profound emptiness. Di rangri mayimbe gyumsen khareres.
Oh, rangri singa de khareres na. 소소 직받음이 라를 자꾸가 말했어요. 라를 생각을 칸난다. 시와 코나 유디 쳐봐. 주로 그 유유도 미친 바퀴.
So
아니 시와 양가와 지가 쓰고 말했어요.
in the case of a self-know or rangrik, then it only knows the mind alone and nothing else. But here you have a self-knower which knows emptiness as well as the subjective consciousness.
So is it knowing the emptiness of mind and emptiness? Or is it Yuchen and Yu?
Tanda susurani ki ishe chiyara. Ishe dige Yuchen yul tongba ta Yuchen yicha toko resa.
어디 도구아리. 유전 이시 또 이시 유전 남겨 말어. 또장 많은 거래. 유 동반이 또야 또 나야 나래.
So this Sosuranre, this exalted knower, knowing itself, realizes the object, profound emptiness, has the appearance of that, and realizes the subjective consciousness, but there isn't the appearance of that subjective consciousness.
그래. 염차 넘버 미도 비시기 유춘이 주바나 유전 이시라니 양 주바인데 시와래.
So this non-conceptual equipoise, then when it knows the object, the emptiness, it also knows the subjective consciousness as well. And that's why I think you have that when you negate the object of a dangzin, you also get rid of that mind.
나 들어 도바 깨기 또 뭐도기 아니 양 개와 시주 이제 요아레스 개와 시주 믿음 받는데.
So there are different points of view of what is realized or not realized according to the viewpoints of different scholars. Or
인상념사 소소소소 그 라리 소소 진나양 라리다 그 말이스. 이다와 가르레스나 현루지 시와 탐제스리가나 현 라리 동경에 가서 아니 된주기 현루지 시와 탐제 칸난다라. 라리 때가 칸난다. 퀴용자 그 시와 또야 그라 시와 직보 매봐. 치료공고 강양 지공고 칸이 이래 메시바키. 현루기 시와 칸난다라. 이나 로베기 지난 양가와다 대바다 미송아리 스타트 미송아리 저우세 그 샤와 차오시 요아로 공부 정말로 정말 공부하잖아.
yeah, I 망쳐.
라리 생각 듣는 지를 쓰기랬어.
Yeah, 망쳐도. So in the case of those who assert a self-knower, which is completely different from the the exalted knower that knows itself, Sosurangre, knows itself. It's completely different from that, because those that have the acceptance of a self-knowing consciousness, it is a mind that is totally turned inward and focuses solely on the mind itself as its object, and has no other external objects in its focus other than the mind itself. So completely shut down or completely closed to all other things other than the mind itself. No, yeah. So this is what is not accepted. So. So what is defined as a self-knower is a mind that is completely turned inward, having as its only object the conscious a mind.
Yeah.
When the focus is the mind itself, does that include the emptiness of the mind also?
The Eugene Totukan, Susurani ki Eugene Totukan, Tombani Dogma Seta, Eugene Gita, Eugene the Yunden is Dog Vesa. Does it realize what can you say?
Emptiness of the mind.
Emptiness of the same Gitoni de Dog Vesa. Tanda de Susurani dige. Tombani Dogma Eugene. Same Tomba de Dog Vesa.
제가 동바이 때라 샘게 동바도냐 요아리 가사게 동바도냐 요아리 도시 잠미라 만보인자 샘게 동게 돈이 유제 동게 되기 샘게 돈이 도비 예산이 도고라만 또 샘지 도고 말이
라
샘게 땡게 돈이 도비 유제 되기 유제 요라 샘게 땡게 돈이 무슨 도비 이시 되기 샘게 땡게 돈이 무슨 도비 이시 도고라만 샘지 도고 말이
Simply think Tony
the
subjective consciousness that knows the emptiness of the mind knows only the gnosis of that mind, not the mind. 전담 개와당 개와라 개와 갈려서. So what's the difference between ultimate virtue and virtue? General virtue is a functioning phenomena. Ultimate virtues don't need to be functioning entities. For example, liberation is ultimate virtue. Like, for example, you can say cyclic existence is ultimately non-virtue, but it's not. But it's not absolute. So, like that.
Kevanya ba me ba ya kone kondo pe ba sho kare ra go ve shangan de bandan de wa jere se wa den jen ja zo ye che be si de ba do den ju ji je zen la ma gu je ra den je na ga de le ju lo san den be de me sa san ji do me se da do ne ju ji chen be ba ye che da chen ba da kun do san bo de de da guje jeso da lo je ge wa de da tam je rab du ngo de so je ve ja wa 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 de da ge ge ve za wa de ge ja sam bo je je rab du ngo wa ji